Hello, hello, hello. Okay, welcome to the replay. If you are catching this on replay and we have never met, my name is Monique James. I am a marketing strategist and an AI consultant, and I help business owners like you, nonprofit associations, organizations get clarity in their marketing strategy through three things. That is their brand character, their customers, and their content planning. And we do that leveraging and implementing technology like AI. And in this quick conversation, I want to talk about some of the barriers that I see, that I experience, that I have conversations with people about that are hindering, that are limiting, that are delaying business owners, businesses, organizations of every size from implementing or integrating AI into their operations. As a matter of fact, right now, at the time that I'm doing this broadcast, I'm supposed to be teaching a workshop. I'm not. That presented a beautiful opportunity to have this conversation that has been kind of brewing in the back of my mind for a while with you. So let's talk about the overall issue, the topic that I feel like is at the crux of this hesitation, this self-doubt, this fear of integrating AI into marketing specifically. That's my area of expertise. I don't know what those people are doing in those other areas. I focus on marketing. It really is a mindset. It's a mindset that allows the unknown to hinder a business owner from taking action. It's that limiting belief that, well, I don't know, I'll wait and see, I'll catch up, like all of those things that kind of nag sometimes in the front of mind when you are at the doorway of possibility or potential. And I think that first mindset barrier is the fear of it being too hard. Now, we as business owners don't like to admit when we feel like something is too big for us, like a mountain is too big to climb. But I believe with regard to AI, a lot of the hesitation comes from just that fear of it's going to be too much to take on, to learn, to grasp, to understand. And I think that's why it's so important for people like me and other people in this space to talk about and to teach about how these tools can be made more accessible, how a business owner can choose to approach integrating these tools, learning about these tools in a way that does not feel hard. Whenever I'm asked the question about what is the best tool for X, Y, or Z marketing function, I always say the best tool is the one that you use consistently. But you have to try some tools to know which one jives best with you and you will use consistently. So start with one. Try one tool, one function of one tool, and get to a level of comfort with that and then keep going. That kind of just squashes that fear of it's too complex, it's too many moving pieces, it's too much to take in. That's the first barrier. Second barrier, obstacle that I see with regard to AI and marketing is it shows up every time somebody says, well, I don't want to sound like a robot. I don't want my business to sound like a robot. That is the fear of losing the human touch. And that's a real thing because we have all read some content, heard some content, seen some content that we are like, that is all AI. And we don't want our brands to sound like that, which is why for me, my focus is on those three elements that I talked about at the top that I mentioned, the brand character. That's why that is so important. When you can nail down and clarify what your brand voice is, what your brand tone is, what your core beliefs are, all of the things that make up your brand's vibe or essence, for lack of a better word, you can pour that information into a tool like a chat GPT and allow that tool to create content that doesn't sound like a robot. It sounds like your brand. That is a beautiful thing because you can go from idea to execution much faster. You're not hemming and hawing and waiting and waffling and revising and revising and revising and revising. Instead, you can create a baseline using a tool like ChatGPT. I am a big fan of custom GPTs. You can use a tool like ChatGPT to get to generate 85% of your 100% for you. And then you zhuzh it up, you polish it, you refine it, you edit just a little bit, and it accurately represents your brand. So that fear of losing the human touch, you don't have to allow that to keep hindering you from taking action. You are consuming content every day at this point that was generated by AI and you don't even know it, because those brand owners have taken the time to clarify their brand first, and then they allowed the tool simply to be a bullhorn, an amplifier for their brand's voice. Third mindset barrier, is resistance to change. And I know we don't want to think about ourselves like curmudgeons who are just talking about what used to happen in my day. And in my day, we walked up here, like all of that stuff. We are resistant to change. And that resistance comes from fear. We are afraid of getting left behind. We are afraid of becoming irrelevant. We are afraid of missing out, like all of those things we are afraid of. And the trick of the fear is that you then do nothing, which guarantees you will be left behind, which guarantees you will fade into irrelevance, which guarantees you will miss out. So the fear is a trick. It's a trick, and it's going to set you up to lose. So instead of resisting change, maybe you don't call it fear, but let's just say that's what it is. Instead of being afraid of change, why not lean into it? I did a post a couple of days ago about the book Who Moved My Cheese. I'll put a link to it in the comments for this video. And the book Who Moved My Cheese is about change. It's about being resistant to change. And if you don't lean into change, if you don't change with the change, you will become extinct. And so if you are watching this as a business owner and you have been hesitant or dragging your feet with figuring out what AI can do for you simply because you don't want to change, I am here to tell you that you are setting your organization up to lose. You are setting your organization up to keep being less productive than you could be, less efficient than you could be, less relevant than you could be, less consistent than you could be. And I don't want that for you. That's why I'm calling it out. Was that the last one? What did I say? Using human touch, complexity. Yes, that was my last one. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. That was my last one. The fear of change, fear of human touch, the fear of things being too complex. These are real, legitimate, relevant concerns that business owners have today with regard to AI. And I am here to tell you that if you are feeling any of these things, if you have said any of these things, you are not alone. I am also here to tell you that you have a choice. You can choose to acknowledge that all of these things are in the room with you and decide that, you know what, fear of it being too hard is not going to stop me. You overwhelm is not going to stop me. You resistance to change is not going to stop me. You fear of the robots taking over your business is not going to stop you. I strongly encourage you to figure out how you can take advantage of this technology and allow it to help you grow your business, to help you grow your organizations, to help you make the impact in a greater way that you want to make, because that's what it's here for. That's what it's here for. And I hope you'll take advantage of it. So that concludes this impromptu conversation about the barriers, the mindset barriers that are causing business owners to run from AI. I hope this conversation makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, just so you will say, you know what, I'm sick of this and I'm going to do something about it. So if you have questions um, about this conversation, you can drop them in the chat or you can reach out to me directly, info@moniquejames.com. I am here to help business owners and organizational leaders like you get clear on your marketing strategy and then add AI to it just to help you do far more. You can be as efficient as possible with the resources that you have. I'll put it that way. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you for being here. If you have questions, you know where to find me. I'll catch you later. Bye.